While cars offer a lot of comfort and convenience, some of them can be dangerous if we don't choose them right. We've seen cars fail and crash a lot, so it's important to know which cars to avoid so safety is never compromised. Hello, and welcome back to our channel, everybody. Today, we're going to be listing down the top 10 most dangerous cars that you need to watch out for. If you see familiar cars, warn a friend and stay as far away from them as possible. So, without further ado, here are the top 10 most dangerous cars in the world. Number 10. Kia Rio. According to US statistics, the Kia Rio is one of the deadliest cars in the world, even though it is reputed to be dependable, with high owner satisfaction ratings. This is because, in accordance with Consumer Reports, the S-trim version of the car is the only one that offers the best safety features, leaving the standard trim to be under-equipped in this regard. Especially with all the new available features, this is useful information to have. In 2020, there were 102 deaths per million registrations in the United States, with 38 per million involving a single vehicle, a Kia Rio crashing into something else, and 51 per million involving multiple vehicles. Other factors such as shock and runs in the safety test contributed to the remaining deaths, for which the Kia Rio received a mediocre 3 stars but a failing grade. The car received a 0 score for pedestrian protection in a collision because the floor beams were cut backward, exposing the driver's lower limbs or even sending him crashing full speed into the asphalt and flat losing his legs. Number 9. Chevrolet Corvair. This car was developed by Chevrolet to compete with brands like Porsche. Unfortunately, most drivers experience comical oversteer, which makes it difficult for them to maintain control in bends. The fact that the car's engine is mounted in the back where it should have provided more traction made this behavior unexpected. When it was introduced in the United States, this car represented a fresh innovation in the automotive industry. Many drivers weren't used to its new driving style because of the oversteer. To make matters worse, tests reveal that the steering column could easily strike the driver's chest during the slightest impact, because the front of the car is devoid of an anti-roll bar. Number 8. Toyota Yaris. Sales of compact and smaller cars have increased over the past 10 years as a result of their cheaper price and lower fuel consumption. Additionally, the insurance and tax rates for these cars are lower. One such car is the Toyota Yaris, but despite all of its benefits, it has one significant flaw: safety. Its crumple zones will almost certainly fail the passengers in the event of an accident due to its small size. If you have a car like that in your garage, you are essentially driving a mobile weapon. If the car crashes, the occupants are more likely to suffer fatal injuries, broken arms or legs, or both. For every 1,000 Toyota Yarises purchased, there are 29 injury claims according to the latest statistics. Number 7. Audi 5000. In the 1980s, German automakers experienced a severe reputation crisis as a result of the Audi 5000. Audi has a reputation for quality, but in the 1980s, that reputation wasn't as well deserved as it is today. In actuality, the Audi 5000's engine was noticeably flawed. The engine would start revving up out of nowhere, startling oncoming traffic. They overcompensated for the issue, which led to the problems. The German maker would not acknowledge that the car system was broken. Instead, they delayed admitting fault until many drivers had already died in collisions. Many drivers died as a result of the car's flaws, which were reportedly related to the engine. The car seemed to accelerate and heave forward on its own while the engine was idle. As a result, when the drivers were driving on the highway at the posted speed, it was even worse. 1,000 crashes and 6 fatalities per year on average were caused by this issue. The Audi 5000 was undoubtedly put on the list of the worst vehicles ever as a result of it. Number 6. Hyundai Accent. For having the most accidents per million registered vehicles, unfortunately, the Hyundai Accent might bag several awards. Not a proud moment. There were over 120 auto accidents involving Hyundai Accents for every million registered vehicles at one time. The vehicle's safety ratings, which present a significant challenge for Hyundai, are largely to blame for this. Even though automakers continue to introduce new models almost every year, they have not yet found a solution to this specific problem. Every year it performs poorly in the IIHS's small overlap front test. It simply means that the driver will almost certainly sustain injuries in an accident because of how vulnerable the front end of the car is to collisions. Number 5. Renault Zoe. Another example of a pretty mediocre 2013 update is the Renault Zoe. It may have passed the safety test, but 8 years later, the security system has not been updated to reflect the additional model improvements, such as those regarding battery performance. Instead, any airbags in the front seats that might have shielded the head and thorax were disengaged, resulting in the dummy heads colliding with the interior of the car. This would cause severe injury if it crashed during testing. Additionally, tire analysis showed that the Renault Zoe was particularly aggressive when colliding with other vehicles. You shouldn't meet him on the road. Fun fact, during the testing a dummy lost an arm, but this was determined to have been caused by one previous wear. The driver's security rating for the Renault Zoe was only rated at 43%, which was the lowest of all of these. In 2021, the Renault Zoe received a 0-star rating. Number 4. Ford Mustang. The Ford Mustang, without a doubt, isn't one of those vehicles free of design flaws that might make it less safe in the event of an accident. The Mustang is regarded as one of the riskiest automobiles in the US, if not the entire world. The Ford Mustang is said to be responsible for 4 times as many fatalities and collisions as any other vehicle, according to numerous reports. The majority of the risk isn't, however, brought on by significant vehicle structural or design flaws. Due to the car's low price compound to its incredible speed and power, many young drivers wind up buying it for overspeeding, which is completely against the law. Number 3. Dacia Spring. The designers of the Dacia Spring chose to forego security in favor of creating and marketing a low-cost electric car. Because there was only 1 star and its general, the end cap objected. The Dacia Spring is anything but a vault family car, according to harsher critics, and they say this to save money. The secretary told the media that it was cynical for businesses to offer cheap, eco-friendly cars, endangering the purchaser's physical integrity. The emergency braking is terrible, and it hasn't removed any safety features like multi-collision braking or lane departure warning systems. The number of airbags in the driver's compartment has also decreased, making the driver more susceptible to side collisions. The driver's safety percentage was only 49 as a result. To make matters worse, the Dacia Feather lacks adequate child seat anchorages and the force needed to open doors after impact, as exaggerated by testers, makes it difficult for survivors to escape the vehicle on their own in the event of a collision. Number 2. DeLorean DMC12. It is quite frightening but true that if the DeLorean DMC12 were involved in an accident and flipped over and landed on its roof, the doors would not open. The windows are too small, which makes it undesirable to break through if seen in such a circumstance. Making the situation worse, the DeLorean DMC12 was once a famous automobile that attained fame and even became well known. But it was obvious that it had no plans for the safety of its future. Number 1. Ford Fiesta Sedan. The Ford Fiesta is the deadliest car there is. For every million registrations, there are 141 fatalities in the US. Even though NCAP gave it 3 stars in 2000 and there were 46 fatalities per million registrations in single vehicle accidents and 13 fatalities per million equal rollovers. Other organizations are much more stringent and have flagged serious flaws, and frontal crash tests involving the driver are severely exposed. Although there aren't many to consider given the extremely high death rate, which demonstrates that many people die on board. It is possible that in the event of an accident, there could be significant head injuries and injuries to the lower left leg. Given all those statistics and testing, it is advised that you reconsider buying a used Ford Fiesta. A Ford Fiesta was given a poor rating in terms of caution because you never know when it might be your last ride. Are you driving a safe car? What are some safe driving tips that you would want to offer? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more of our updates.